What up guys, welcome back to Underneath the Veil of Marigolds, and today I am back with protection tips on how to protect yourself from divination. So one of you guys emailed me sometime last year, and I typed you up a really long, huge list of things to do to help protect your energy from being divined against, divination against, or whatever you want to call it. To protect you from someone else reading in your energy, picking it up, and seeing what you're doing in your day, basically. You were very appreciative of it, but I decided that I do need to share it here, and I put the video off for a little bit because I had some other things planned. But now we finally get into it, and I'm going to share with you guys some tips. And I've also added 2 more things that I'm sorry I didn't tell you at the time. I just wasn't thinking about it. When I got your email, I was at work, so I was just trying to hurry up and type up as much information as I could while I was at work and still get things done. Forgive me if I forgot to mention these few things that I'm going to share now, but hopefully you're watching and you'll see these last 2 things that I forgot to mention. So if you guys are looking for any sort of masking your energy type of tips, then stay tuned. I'm about to share mine with you guys. So there are 8 tips that I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first one, which is a very basic one to do. And I think most practitioners who practice, anybody who practices energy work, does meditation or astral travel or practices lucid dreaming, this is something that you probably already know how to do. If not, you're gonna know now. Okay, so the first one is an energy cloak, energy shield. I'm looking down at my notes, so if you see my eyes going up and down, I typed up a very long, like Bible's worth of shit to give to this person. So you're welcome. I'm going to read off what I wrote. I literally just printed out my email, so I'm going to read it to you guys. So an energy shield, cloak, whatever you want to call it, it's masking your energy, okay? That's what it is. It's a technique that doesn't require any tools and is strictly energy work, such as meditating and imagining you're feeling yourself being cloaked from energy vampires and people using divination on you. If you are not the best meditator, then this might be hard to master. But energy shields, cloaks are good to use on the daily. Before going to sleep would probably be one of the best times, because when you are sleeping, you are open for spell work or any sort of evil eye, hexes, jinxes, curses to come your way and affect you the most, because you are not actively mentally protecting yourself. So that's why a lot of practitioners who are experienced will hit you in the sweet spot when you are asleep. They will be up until fucking 3 in the morning or whatever the fuck when your ass is grass, sleeping, unaware of anything, and they're gonna hit you. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna conjure up the most wickedest shit when you're sleeping. If you are somebody who is good at mastering your mind while sleeping, or you're just practicing, you can do this before you go to sleep even. It'll give you a nice layer of protection before you pass out. What you wanna do is you're gonna lay there and you're gonna imagine your energy radiating out across your vessel, like it's going to cover you, shield you, encase you. And you got to be specific with what you want here. It's just like any other spell, really, okay? Be specific about what you're asking for, what you're trying to channel. You'd be like, I need to be invisible to anyone or anything that is trying to harm me. That's what you need to channel in. That's what you need to keep your mind's eye at. That's what you need to see in your head, being invisible to anything and everything around you. So you could imagine this while going to sleep, and that will help protect you while someone is, possibly doing some divination or trying to hit you with some nasty work, and the energy is harder to sense this way. So, but then again, you should always have wards. You should be wearing amulets, talismans, anything else that helps protect you while your mind is asleep. Especially when you sleep. Your mind is the most vulnerable to psychic attacks or letting others filtrate you through divination. Most people aren't good at lucid dreaming, but if you are, this means you can have great control over creating energy shields even while you're asleep. You can do this in your dreams if you can master your mind that well. If you do this in your sleep, you are highly protected if you can get an energy shield up, okay? That is like some top-notch fucking shit right there. Even make your vessel, when you're awake, invisible to others. You just have to know how to manipulate the energy around you and your own, of course, in order to come off as invisible. People don't see you. If you think I am not seen, I will not be seen, etc., etc. You know, you can use law of attraction sort of techniques and phrases for this as well. If you say these things like that and you convince yourself that you are not seen, you have to believe what you're saying, okay? You have to believe the energy that you're manipulating to cloak you. Then you will not be seen. This might not be something that you can easily do on the first try, okay? And if you have to be seen, remember this, you're cloaked. Most people are not going to see you. They aren't, okay? Because you just told the universe that I want to be invisible to everything. Anything that could possibly hurt me. You got to be specific, okay? I want to be invisible to anybody who's trying to read my energy, okay? I want my aura to be invisible. I want my practice to be invisible regardless of, you know, what you're wearing and shit. Like, you know, people will still turn a blind eye because they can't put two and two together. Something like that. You know, you got to be specific about how you're wording this. That'll work the best for you, I guarantee it. You just say you want to be invisible just in general. You want to fucking go outside and try and holler at someone there and be like, I don't know who's yelling at me, and just fucking walk away. Or if you're trying to cross the fucking street or something and then a car doesn't see you, wham, you're dead. This is a cloaking that you're going to have to take on and off. If you want to be seen, you got to be taking that cloak off, or else people aren't going to see you. And once you master this, it's going to be a good technique. And it's easy to do. You don't need any materials but you. If you want to be seen, take the fucking cloak off. Don't be running around all day in certain things, doing certain things where you have to be like in the media's eye, and then you did this cloaking, and now you're wondering why you're not getting as many views. So think about this logically and how and when you want to use it. We're going to move on to cloaking tip number 2, which is locking your mirrors, your windows, and your screens. So this has become actually pretty trendy because it's actually rather easy to do, which is why it seems like a lot of witchcraft that becomes trendy is easy to do witchcraft. If you don't know, you're gonna know, like I said before. So locking your mirrors and stuff is basically anything that's reflective can be a portal, okay? A gateway for another practitioner to see what you're doing and pick up on your energy. They can keep these portals open, monitoring your energy if they want to. They can simply be scrying and then just tap into the areas that you're in where they think you would be the most. If they get a good feeling for your energy, they can track you around where you are, basically. And if there's anything near you that's considered a gateway, like a mirror, your TV, the black screen on your phone, they can even go through your black scrying mirror if you don't have it locked. They can see you through your crystal ball. They can see you through pools of water that you use to scry if you are not protected while you are doing it. But this person would have to be really fucking obsessed with you in order to track you like a fucking hound dog. So don't think everyone out there gives two shits about you, because they don't. Honey, they don't. They really don't. People don't be having time for that. I couldn't fathom why anybody would want to track me that much to try and fuck my life up. Like, I am not rich. I don't make millions and millions of dollars. I don't have a whole lot. Maybe you want to steal my identity, you know, I don't know. But go ahead, have it. There ain't much in the bank account. Anyways, how do you do this, okay? When you're watching your TV, you can simply place a black cloth over it to cover it up, so then the gateway is closed off. Black is supposed to be very cloaking, absorbing, blocking type of color. But then again, you're like, my mirror, my black scrying mirror is black, the screen on my phone is black, my TV is black when it's off, so why doesn't that work? Well, it's just like how you could use salt and try to fight off an entity with it, and it won't work. You're just gonna grab that shit from your fucking kitchen and throw it on the ground, right? Your salt's not blessed. It's salt. It does have the property of cleansing and, you know, protecting, but it wasn't spiritually enhanced and have those properties brought forth. So it's not really even being utilized in the way that normally someone who would bless water or bless salt would be doing it. That's not how it's done. And plus, everything has polarity, right? We've got to remember these things. Put something black over it. then it'll help shut off that gateway, because you intentionally in your mind are saying, or not even saying aloud, you don't have to say it aloud. It can be simply something in your head that you're putting the cloth over the black screen to block this gateway. You're cutting it off because your mentality is already shaping that reality. I don't know if any of that kind of made sense. I know it was kind of a little all over the place, but you have to intentionally bring out those properties in order for them to work. It's not just there and ready to go. If you don't have the black cloth thing going on, there are sort of like entertainment centers that you can put your TVs into. I know way back in the day, like in the 70s, I think they were more popular, 60s, 70s. They would have entertainment centers where you could literally like put your TV in this like nook of an area, and then you would just close the doors, the cabinetry, or slide something over it, and it was out of sight behind something else, and that gateway's closed off. It's as simple as that if you have something like that. And then you don't even need to use the cloth. You could even make sigils on the back of the cabinets that you're closing if you want to go the extra mile of saying nothing can come through this portal, this gateway, and just seal it off right there, right in the cabinet. Also, lock your TVs, your mirrors, your windows. Windows are a gateway as well, okay? With protection colognes like Florida water. You can also use moon water as a way to bless, purify, and close something off, okay? You can simply just wipe it down. Your intention of wiping away that gateway is like closing it. Just imagine like when you wipe this way, you're closing something. It's as simple as that, really. Your intention is what's creating this power for it. You can also draw a sigil on it if you want. You can do it with Florida water. You can do it with some sort of protection oil. Write it right on the screen or the window, and then you can wipe it away, symbolizing closing something this way, closing it, okay? Or you can put it on the backs of your mirrors. You can put it on the back of the TV. It's simple as that, really. It's whatever you feel would work the best for you, okay? So you can leave it on there. You could wipe it off. You can engrave it on something or not. You know, there's different ways to do it. It's not a very hard method to do. You can create your own sigils, or you could use a pentacle, just this good old pentacle, and just imagine elements are helping you seal off this gateway, and you are protected from anything or anyone trying to come through and observe you or siphon your energy or whatever it may be. I mean, the list could go on and on, but it's a good practice to have if you have a lot of mirrors in your home. You have a lot of screens in your home, like your tablets, your phone, windows galore. Like you really want to close that shit off. So that was number 2. We're going to move on to number 3, which is what we kind of already talked about for sigils. You can draw sigils on your being to protect yourself from divination and energetic vampires as well. You can take protection oil and make a pentacle over your third eye area, or any other self-created sigil to protect your energy from being picked up on. You can do this on the daily if you want to, or you can do it before you go to sleep too. Just saying, if you're not someone who can keep up that energy shield while you're sleeping, anoint yourself with something that's going to mask and protect your energy. You don't even have to draw a sigil. If that's the way you designed the oil or the spray or whatever, spray it on yourself. Be in the mind state of it's cloaked. I just sprayed this shit on myself, so now I'm cloaked. Go to sleep. That'll help a lot of people who aren't good at lucid dreaming, who don't have very much control over their mind when they're asleep. So that's one of the easiest things you could do. Okay, cloaking tip number 3 is amulets. Crafting an amulet enchanted to protect your energy from others that you can wear on the daily. You can write sigils or other protection symbols on this as well. You can add stones to it like obsidian, black tourmaline, to ward off and block, absorb anything that's coming your way. You can use amethyst and labradorite to protect your psyche, okay? You can place dried herbs, spices in this as well. Add anything that correlates to protecting your energy because that's what's being read. Wearing evil eye jewelry protects from any psychic influences as well, especially if the person is using divination on you and doesn't have the best intentions. I've made an amulet for luck and gave it to my partner, which you guys should have seen if you've been here for a while, or maybe you haven't, but it's a good luck amulet. My God, this fucking truck. Now that truck's gone, I'm gonna continue where I left off, and I was talking about that good luck amulet that I made my partner, in an older video. I'm using that as an example because the container for all the things that I put in there, it has like a twist off sort of amulet container that you can purchase off of Amazon or any craft store, I'm sure. It twists off and it's like flat, circle, kind of disc shaped, and it twists off and you can just fill it with all the things you need to fill it. So it's basically like a spell bottle that you can wear that's not like too bulky and gaudy to wear on the daily. It's something subtle and unisex, basically. It comes in different colors, but the one that I got was like a black shiny kind of color. So yeah, I suggest getting something like that if you don't want it to be like too out there so everybody knows that you practice and now they're gonna ask you a bunch of stupid fucking questions. So you can get something like that to kind of like, you know, be subtle about it, but it's still cloaking you, it's still protecting you and doing its job. Yeah, so fill it with anything that correlates to protection, protecting your psyche. You know, find all the properties that you need for the materials that call to you and assemble your amulet that way if you'd like to. So you can charge it under the full moon. You got to cleanse these things time and time again. You got to juice them up again, okay? You got to put a little more energy into it or else they start fading, okay? They're only going to take so many hits and eventually they break. So you're going to have to either remake it or be good about it and actually cleanse it and charge it when you need to. So don't just let it go until it breaks. It'll last longer if you keep cleansing and charging your amulets and protection charms. So now we're going to move on to number 5, which is home protection wards. And I always blubber about this, or at least as of recently I have. You should always have protection wards in your home. Tons of them, tons of them. You can't have too many, really. You should always have these. I suggest a witch's ball, which is a technique that's over 3 centuries old. This object is to be hung by all windows. It absorbs any spells, evil eye, negative spirits, divination techniques. It's made of glass in a sphere shape. Lore is that the spirits and all witchcraft upon you will be entrapped inside the ball. And I'm sure plenty of you have heard about this witch's ball thing, or may have seen some sort of variation. You can get these in different colors if you'd like to perform color coordination magic. If you need a budget-friendly route, then you can try the holiday aisle around Christmas time, and you can purchase these clear glass Christmas ornament balls. I've made a Yule ball, witch's ball, sort of titled video, where I show you how to fill one with all the corresponding protection properties, items, and materials, and you can create a decoration for your tree, or you can hang it anywhere in your home if you'd like to, and it'll protect your home. It's the same sort of concept. You can place things like black salt in there, pieces of obsidian. If it breaks, that means it's absorbed all it could take, okay? So it means it's been penetrated. You should probably cleanse your home, your being, and you can return that energy back, or you can try and transmute it if you'd like, and then replace that ward as soon as possible, either with the same thing or something else if you wish. Move on to technique number 6, which is pretty basic, pretty obvious. You can use crystals if you believe in such. Okay, even some practitioners don't believe in even using crystals. Like, even though they use herbs and other spices and stuff, but they don't believe in crystals that naturally come from the earth as something that you could utilize to enhance and do spells, you know, perform spell work with. But I do, because I believe if there's energy there, you can manipulate it into whatever it needs to be manipulated into. So I'm going to share with you what crystals I'd use, how to use them. So this one's basic, like I said, but also has been around for centuries in many cultures. Using crystals to protect your psyche and absorb any energies of ill nature. Placing some amethyst next to your bedside or under your pillow will help protect your thoughts and psyche from any divination while you slumber. You can also use labradorite and obsidian to absorb any negative energies. Better yet, you can use all of them. Use all 3 together. And there's many more than what I'm naming off, but I'm naming off the obvious ones because they're easier to get than some other crystals, okay? And sometimes these can be the cheaper ones to get. You can use them all together. It'll be a big fat powerhouse. These crystals on your being throughout the day will also help. They eventually will need cleanse, just like anything else that's taking hits for you on the daily. So You can either get crystals that cleanse themselves, like selenite. Okay, it's basically fucking salt, and it cleanses everything around it. Me and another witchy friend were just talking about this earlier today, and he suggested some good ones like sunlight, which I was immediately, my brain is like a fucking child, and went to this fucking cartoon that's for kids, Steven Universe, because they talk about the crystals like an embodied sort of godlike form in a way, you know, like they're entities basically. So I was like, Steven Universe immediately, but I knew what he was talking about, but my dumbass child brain was like, ooh, piece of candy, you know. So you can use things like that. I mean, there's plenty of others. There's a lot of crystals out there that do the exact same fucking thing. So if you don't mesh with any of these, there's plenty of others that you'll find that you will, okay? And this is simple technique to do. You could place some of these crystals under your fucking pillow. You could place them on your nightstand, place them under the bed, in between the mattresses, even if you wanted to, or simply if you have pajamas with a pocket, put it in your damn pocket. There's all sorts of shit you can do. We're moving on to number 7, which is a more new-aged approach. It has to do with technology and how to ward your technical devices. So this is not something that a lot of witches believe in, but I'm the type of person that goes by this saying, if the mind can conceive it, then you can achieve it. So I believe that people can use technology like computers or media or whatever to attack you. It does happen because it is a gateway. You're spying on people through media. That's what it's used for some people. Some people will snoop around through your media if you don't have it protected. So here are some techniques and tips that I think would help some people out and that I've used personally myself. So sometimes people like to snoop around, like I was saying, to find anything they can about you to use to their advantage. So if they want to do divination on you, or they're trying to track you in some sort of way to figure out when you're home or when you're asleep or whatever, whenever you're the most vulnerable is when they're going to strike, okay? That's how it works. I suggest cyber wards as well for anything personal that you have to save on a computer. You can go about this by creating passwords with the following words, like blocked, hidden, warded, protected, etc. within the password, along with numerology, such as 444, which is a very strong protection number. You can use the names of gods and goddesses that are strong protectors, names of ruins that offer protection, animal names that mean you are divinely guided and protected can be used, like a cat who is also your familiar. Place some numerology in there as an extra protection measure if you're setting up this username or password, okay? Envision what each thing you chose means to you to charge this up. Then save your password or username. Files that you save and don't want info leaked, create a sigil in a Word doc or a copy and paste a pentacle into that page and save to each file you want protected from view. Okay, so save each sigil or pentacle file, Word doc file, into each file that you want to be protected or hidden from view. And then that's gonna be juiced up and charged when you put that in there, because you have the mentality of this is the reality that's going to happen. Because honestly, the internet is a very good conductor. You can use it in a metaphysical way. Okay, it's not exempt because it's technology. I know a lot of older practitioners would probably be like, no, this bullshit. But, you know, before you knock it, try it for yourself and see how it works. Any social media accounts that you have, you should place those on private, of course, you know, to protect them and save them from prying eyes that are trying to get your information and or do some shady shit to you. You can also enhance passwords and stuff on those accounts too. Place protection symbols in your description and in the corners of your photos. Like if you're posting a photo on Instagram, I'm just gonna go with that because that's what I got. You can put something on the corner like an evil eye or a ham saw hand. This is a ham saw hand right there to literally say stop and block that energy from getting to you. If that's the intention you had for placing that tiny little picture, it doesn't even have to be big. It can be the smallest, tiny, mini, minute fucking little image that you can barely even see with a goddamn magnifying glass. Like, you'd have to zoom the fuck in to see it. If it's there, it's helping, because that's the intention that you set for it. You locked that image from negative energy. Even if somebody comments on it, it's blocking the energy from personally affecting you. That's what it represents. At least in my mind, that's how I perceive it. Also, screensavers, underrated as shit, okay? So, in cyber magic, your screensaver can be a collage of deities and a small sigil in the middle. Like, you can design a fucking screensaver if you wanted to. You can also keep a small sigil on the corner of your desktop and just save it right there. And that's the one little image that you see when you get onto your computer that says it's locked. Even though you have to sign in or to your user or whatever to get onto the computer, but that shit's locked, okay? That's what it's signaling to you and signaling to others, even though they don't know what that sigil means, but you do. You charged it, you blessed it. It's there on the screen for fucking eternity if you wanted it to be, okay? You can always discard it and make another, but it's there, it's doing its job. You can ask the deity you work with to cloak your info as well. So if you do the screensaver thing and you have your deity up there and you know your deity is working hard to protect you because you have a close relationship with that deity and or ancestors or whatever, if you have pictures of them, you can hide little sigils in there and put them as a screensaver as well. Lastly is something that me and my witchy friend were also talking about, and that's how the crystals and stuff came up. I was talking about dream catchers, and I was telling him that, hey, I want to make my own dream catcher, like the whole fucking thing. And so we started like naming off crystals and stuff to like what else we could build it with, and you know. So the last tip is going to be get yourself a fucking dream catcher, because you are the most vulnerable when you sleep, like I've said earlier in the video and many times in my other videos. It's a protection ward that many Native American tribes have used, okay? It protects you from any sort of negative magic, psychic attacks, especially while you sleep. That's, I mean, look at the name, Dream Catcher. It's supposed to help ward off any nightmares too. So a lot of nightmares can be symbolism for someone sending ill intent or baneful magic your way. You're good at reading your dreams, but not letting your dreams consume you, of course, because sometimes you just have nightmares based off of anxiety or how you're feeling deep down inside, but you just haven't brought it up and confronted it yet. So there's a lot of things to dreams that sometimes people don't really understand. And if you don't understand it, get a book about fucking dreams. That shit'll tell you some things before you think everything is just, you know, evil fucking magic coming your way, because it's not. Not all the time, okay? A lot of the times for me, like if someone's actually trying to fuck with me, they will be in my dreams. I can feel their energy. So they literally popped in there, and the dream is designed around what's to come. So I have prophetic dreams like here and there. They just fucking happen regardless if I want them to or not. I don't have very good control over it. So that's how I find out people are trying to fuck with me. It always shows up in my fucking dreams. Suggest getting a fucking dream catcher or make a dream catcher. There's so many materials that correspond with protecting you from negative energies. You can use transmutation oil for this. You can use protection oil for this. You can use astral travel oil for this that also has protective properties. Me and my witchy friend were talking about this shit, like shooting shit back and forth. So there's so many things that you can do with it. You can place crystals in it. That's what we were talking about most. And for me, I think I'm going to try and interweave cat whiskers into it, because cat whiskers are planeswalkers, realm walkers, and they offer protection from all different realms. They can see shit that we can't see. So if there's energy coming at me, I want to see it. But since I'm in this vessel to experience this life in this vessel, there's certain senses that aren't heightened as much as another creature's or something in another realm. So I want to tap into my feline to see things that I can't normally see. So that's what I'd be doing. And I'm definitely going to add cat whiskers to mine, because, you know, I work with Bostat, and I know Bostat has my back no matter what. And My cat definitely does too. I'm going to interweave some cat whiskers into it. And the dream catcher represents a spider web for a reason, because they believe that the web will help catch anything that's trying to come to you. So any sort of divination on you can be trapped within this dream catcher before they can even get to your energy. I said be specific on how you want to design it if you plan on making your own dream catcher. You can also buy one. I know some people out there you can purchase dream catchers from, and they'll be like, so what do you want on it? What do you want it to look like? And you can just customize the whole fucking thing. I'm sure it's pretty pricey, but it is nice if that person knows how to design a really good quality dream catcher for you. So there's also that path to do that as well. That's also an option. I think that's all I got for you guys for today. I'm sure there's plenty other things that you can do out there to protect yourself from any sort of divination or any sort of ill intent, evil eye coming towards you. But those are a few to start. So if you guys have any questions, please place them in the comments below, or you can email me at underneaththeveilofmarigold@outlook.com. Until next time, I will see all you lovely little brujitas later.